Good afternoon. Um, how's everybody doing? This video is called Deeply Rooted Fears. I got my selenite ball, so if you look at me like I'm playing with something, I'm holding this ball. The reason why I was doing this video is because I was watching a video the other day of and as probably a lot of people have seen it, a lot of, what was it? There was a guy that was in his he was in his yard, and his grandmother was standing beside him. His grandmother was standing beside him, and all you saw was from the police perspective, where he had the gun and he was pointing down, looking at the guy, and I was like, this is crazy, because the guy's asking him, what did you stop me for? What did you stop me for? He says, you ran a red light, or ran a red stop sign. You ran a stop sign or something like that. But he had his gun pointed. And the guy's on the floor really, doing all this stuff. So as I'm watching that, I was like, yo, this is crazy. How can a routine traffic stop for running a red light or, running a stop sign warrant him having his gun out? And so, as I said, I asked questions and information will come. And so they was letting me know that a lot of the people, what we don't realize, and it goes that deep, when we talk about what my video is called Deeply Rooted Fears, or something like that anyway. But what we don't realize is a lot of people that are being, I'll tell you what they showed me. They showed me that there is a collective of people. That's why all the police officers don't feel the same way. There is certain police officers that have been told or been given the authority to use extreme measures, meaning that if it's known that they have an aggressive nature, or they have an energy where they're racist or stuff like that, they have been given the authority to use excessive force. I mean, to go and to stop somebody from in a car, and you got your gun cocked like he's about to shoot back at you. It lets you know that there's a lot of people that have that energy, that they're being taught to do that. And why I said it goes deeply rooted, because anytime anybody does stuff out of fear, there's a reason for it. Now, and most of the time it deals with money, because a lot of people that do things out of the ordinary do so because they're being paid for it. We're dealing with corruption. When you deal with corruption, people are being paid under the table to do certain things. And right now we're seeing that money is not an issue for people who want to do corrupt things. And when you look at wanting to do something in that space of corruption, you see it goes much deeper than that. Like I said, every action brings off a certain reaction. And so they were showing me that we know in our own lives, we have people that will do anything for money. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about anything. That you know in your life, in your environment, you got some people that will sell their own grandmother up the road just to make some money. So if you have that kind of concept in mind, that's because there's a lot of fear of scarcity, fear of not having. So you got people that play on people's fears in order for them to react and do the things that they do. This is no way saying that, that there's a reason for why they're doing it, or that their reason is correct. I'm trying to get you to understand that there is people in our society that are looking like me and you, or walking the street and acting like everything's hunky-dory, but they're doing things purposely, underhandedly, because they're being paid for it. You know what I mean? There's people in our midst, there's people in our societies, there's people in our jobs, in our cultures, in our traditions. They're being paid to infiltrate spaces in order for them to look and act and think and talk like us. And so we are trusting in their space. We're trusting in the things that they're doing. We're trusting in them and following their support. So they want us to understand that these people are going to start being exposed. So don't fear people that that you've been around, that are going to be exposed for the negative stuff that they're doing, or the things that they think that people are not watching, or because you're not privy to information that you don't find out that they've been underhandedly taking a whole lot of money or doing things for money. Like, talking about snitches, people doing things like that. They do so on the basis of they're getting money. You know what I mean? And this all goes back to, again, spaces of fear. You know, when you look at when you deal with racism, it is dealing with fear. It's fear of, you know, being your whole system being removed, or your whole your aware life being affected by another race of being. It's all based on fears. So what we're living with right now is the everything being rose up. Everything is coming up to the surface. All this information, all this knowledge, all this wisdom is coming up to the surface for everybody to understand that this is what's been going on, and we got to understand it. So I'm saying that even in our regular lives, you know, our 9 to 5s, going to schools, going to work, our places of community, you're going to find and you're going to see that there are people there that don't have your best interests at heart. You know, their whole purpose is to infiltrate you, to get information about you and what you're doing in order to take it to somewhere else. And as sad as it is a reality that we're living, and we're seeing it more and more. So, you know, if you look at, I use the police officers as an example. You got many police officers that are out there doing their work, and they, you know, you see the videos that they're kneeling down with everybody because they see that this discrimination, this racism is too much, and they're just trying to do their jobs. Yet you have others that are doing their job, and some because they're paid to do so. They're paid to do more than what everybody else knows. And it's not everybody. You already know this when it comes to secret societies or, you know, what they called it. What's it called? Secret societies, what they call, you know, masonry and all of that. They have an agenda to do what they got to do. Even when, you know, they talk about in the Pope praising and worshipping a Black Madonna. You know what I mean? There's always stuff going on behind the scenes that you're not aware of. But to publicly, everybody look as like the Madonna is a white woman. But the truth and everything is always hidden. So I'm just saying right now, there's a lot of hidden information that's coming to the surface. And it's not just big people that it's going through. It's going through as a collective. This is not... They're not distinguishing whether you're big people or you're small people. There's no discrimination like that. They're just saying that have your eyes open, have your ears open, because a lot of the infiltration is not just to find out what you're doing, but to try and change the course of where you're going. You know what I mean? There's people that are going to infiltrate you with knowledge to try and get you to see a point of view that is going against what you already know to be true. You know what I mean? So this is that time where they keep talking about, you know, going within and making sure the truth of who you are is being presented. So when you hear something, you will know whether it's true or not. You ain't got to try and figure it out. Your inner being is going to tell you whether something is right or not. You know what I mean? So again, when people start getting exposed, because that's what's happening, everything is being exposed, and it's being exposed for real, because you got to know who and what is supporting this new way of life or ushering this new change, or those that are against it. And like I said, folks will do a lot of things for money. People will sell their own children for money. So come on now, if you know what I mean, if there's no separation of love when it comes to fear of not having, people will do many things for the space of money. You know what I mean? I look at the corruption. You know, some people could have millions and millions and millions of dollars, but yet the thought of being in a impoverished, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, being in an impoverished space puts so much fear in them that they will refuse to be in that space. They will do anything to make sure that they never have to revisit that. Henceforth, they will take pennies or take money, even if it means their own people will suffer. They will take that money because they don't want to be in that space themselves. So I'm saying when you're talking about deeply rooted fears, this is what we're dealing with. A lot of deeply rooted fears that people are going to take money and do things, knowing that it's wrong, do things in order to affect the majority without any morals. Then we also know that we have people that have no morals at all, have no, what's the word? They have no integrity at all. And it's basically all about what they can do, what they can get. So just remember, in your own circles, in your own ways, have your eyes open, have your ears open. There's a lot of infiltration going on. Not everybody is who they claim to be. And that space is being exposed. people are being exposed for the information and the wisdom that they're going on with. And until we recognize that, you know what I mean, the wall is going to keep being pulled over our eyes. There's a lot of smoke screens going on, and it is time for them to come down in order for us to bring about the change. But like I said, we all have an obligation to bring this shift in. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, all the fighting and everything that's going on right now is purposeful. You know what I mean? All the people that are holding that space for the protest. I watched a video the other day where some guy saw that they were sending off tear gas and all that. He opened his door and let hundreds, well, not hundreds, beaucoup people into his yard. And he said, you know what? Everybody was sitting there. Nobody knew each other, but everybody was here for hours with the same thought in mind, that we're protesting that the injustices that's been going on. And just that lets you know that the voice is being heard, the people are being heard, that it's not just a black thing, but the injustice of people period is being heard. The fact that it's coming through as our black people, it is because this has been going on forever and a day, and now everybody needs to hear it. Everybody needs to understand it. Henceforth, that we have to unite. There's no other way to go about this. We have to unite, and not just unite as black people unite. It's everybody needs to unite and change the way that things are going. So again, I'm just like trying to get everybody to understand, you're going to have people in your space that are not who they say they are. And that's coming up. You're going to see it. You know, don't be angry, don't be upset. Just be thankful that you're witnessing the exposure of these people, because it's a necessity. They've been doing what they've been doing for the longest time, infiltrating spaces in order to take knowledge from you and to give knowledge to others, you know, all in the space of money, you know what I mean? Which again goes back to fear, you know, fear of what they don't know. But so, yeah, I just wanted to bring that to some people's attention, and I'm gonna leave it there, because that was enough. I was just so taken aback from that space of that guy lying on the ground, and that police officer looking at it from his perspective, because you know his body cam was here. You're seeing the gun pointed. Ain't nobody got no gun there, but yet he's doing that. So that's letting me know that's an intention. They've been given the permission to do that. They've been given the authority to do that excessively, and you know they're being paid more to do those things. So don't think it's just like a couple of rebel people. No, this is an orchestrated space that's being implemented to bring bring uproar. You know what I mean? Because the more you see things like that, the more it gets you angry. Don't get me wrong. I've sat here looking at all this stuff that, you know, from Minnesota and everything like that, and I cried. And I'm like, yo, is this the day and time that we're living in? Is this the stuff that we're having to deal with? But it is. And until we recognize that stuff has to change, these are the things that we've got to go through, because, you know, that energy has been controlling this space for far too long. And we've sat here without a voice, like we have no voice. I watched something from the 60s where, you know, these children were talking about how they were just riding their bikes, and they were being thrown at because they, you know, these people, white power this, white power that, calling these niggers and this, that, and the other. And they were saying, you know, one of the girls was like, I can't say I hate them, but I don't like them, you know what I mean? And one of the girls said, I don't like them, I hate them, you know what I mean? I'm talking about little children. I think this is from the 60s. But it's just saying that lets you know that this situation that we've been dealing with has been going on for far too long, and something has to change. But again, I'm going to shut it down now. But just remember that people are going to be exposed. Things are coming up for people to be exposed. So whether it's in your job, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your circle, whether it's in your community, whether it's in your way of life, your priests or your heads of state, or whatever the case may be, you're going to start seeing people be exposed for the, I was just about to curse then and I had to pull that back in, for the ukris that they've been doing, and the schemes and scams that have been played. But you're going to see it. It's no choice. It's got to come out. All right. But anyway, take care. And like I said, you know, I ask every day, how do I change the vibration of this planet with love? And if the information that comes through me that assists in that, like that, then so be it. Okay. So love you all. Love me too. You take care and you have a wonderful day. All right. Peace out.